Hi guys, and welcome to another new release video. This week's releases are the Mermaid collection. I'm very excited to finally get this collection out because there have been probably a million mermaid kits released over the years, and I'm just now finally getting to the foil collection for it. Most recently there have been a few Little Mermaid themed kits that have come out, so these are going to go very well with those, and I wanted to get this out well in advance of when y'all are going to be using those kits to mark the movie coming out, the live action remake. So this should hopefully give y'all plenty of time to plan your foil pairings with your kits. I personally haven't really thought about it, but I'll probably post something on Instagram giving you guys recommendations, and I'm sure you guys are going to ask as well. So this collection was foiled and hollow, kind of to go with the mock spread, which I will go over later. But right now, as usual, just well, first of all, disclaimer about my nail. I know it's missing. It just, I have Dashing Diva nails on, and this one just randomly fell off, way before the others did. So I kind of have to wait for, the others to reach the end of their cycle before, putting on a whole new set. So it's just kind of bare out there, but just ignore that. And disclaimer for these sheets, as always, ignore any imperfections or black spots that you may see. These are going to be only for these demo sheets and will not appear on any final products that are sent out. So let's start off with the underlays as usual. We have the large underlays, which are the busiest underlays and cover up the most area. So if you have really busy days and use lots of labels and boxes, this is the best underlay option for you because you will still be able to see parts of the design peeking out from behind those boxes because the design elements are really tiny. So we have some shells, coral, and turtles, and mermaid tails swimming around in there. So there's the large, and then the medium version, which is kind of the same icons but more sparse, and there is one actual mermaid in there. So this is an option if you don't want something quite as busy. And then for the fun ones, I really enjoyed the fun ones this week. So we have this one, which is I think just called Fish in the Shop, but it's just a whole under the sea scene kind of situation. We have lots of different types of fish. We have a couple mermaids, some bubbles as well, lots of teeny tiny fish filling up the space. So we've got of course we have a shark, we have a dolphin, octopus, jellyfish, pufferfish, turtle, seahorse, and then all kinds of other little fish in there, starfish as well, and seaweed, and coral. So this one is really fun and very busy. So this is another super busy option. If you don't want just a large one, then you can grab the fish one. And then if you want just a more plain one, obviously I had to do the classic mermaid scales or fish scales option. So there is this version if you want something nice and simple but very classic. So there's that, and then we have the full box overlays, starting with the full confetti sheet, which is the busiest confetti sheet. We have deco and confetti bits on all four corners and all four sides. So we have our mermaids in the corners, and then we have our various fish and coral and shells all around the edges. And then we have the medium version of that, which is just the corners and not the edges. So we have medium of 4 corner, and then 3 corner, 2 corner, and then the small size of confetti, which I'll do a quick comparison so you can see the small versus large. It is a little bit smaller, so if you want to cover up less of the clip art, then you have this option. So it comes in, as usual, the 4 corners, 3, and then 2 options. So you have plenty of confetti overlay options. And then we have the tall box sheet, which has the 2 most standard sizes of tall boxes. So this one is good for glam planner kits, and this one is good for any other kits that have tall boxes, basically. And then we have our 2 big box sheet options. Well, there's 2 designs, and then of course they come in 2 sizes, depending on what kit big box you are using. So we have the classic confetti one here, and there are flags at the bottom. And then we have the border design, which has our mermaid up here, seahorse down here, and then there's little fish, which was really fun to kind of sprinkle around. And then we have the double box scene, which has the classic confetti, as well as the fun one, which is more of an undersea scene kind of situation. I did do it kind of a little bit bigger than usual, but I really wanted to include all the little details in there. So we have like a little crab in there and a seahorse over there, and then the tiny little fishes around the mermaids. So that was really fun to put together. And then the full box sheet has several borders. We have just the mermaid border, the mermaid tail, and then we have the like fish scale border there. And then I did include some Little Mermaid elements in this collection, so this is one of them. This full box overlay has the silhouette of Ariel sitting on the rock as a mermaid. And then we have our two quotes sheets as usual. So this one I kind of did a mix of fonts, and we have our two confetti options. So these are like the full cover quotes if you're using a patterned full box, or just like one that's kind of empty and really good for putting lots of foil over. And then we have a couple more subtle ones as well if you're putting them over clip art. So this one says, be a mermaid in a sea of fish. This one says, I'd rather be a mermaid. This one says, mermaid kisses, starfish wishes, of course, had to do that kind of format. And then this is like a more subtle one if you're using it over like a fashion box or just a box that has a lot of clip art in the top. Then this one is just like nice and subtle on the bottom, so it doesn't cover up too much. It's just for mermaids welcome. And then had a little bit more fun on the quote sampler. So we have only the mermaid kisses and mermaid's welcome quotes that are repeated on here, but everything else is new. So we also have mermaid vibes as a subtle quote, and then be a mermaid and make waves as a bigger one, and then the rest are Little Mermaid themed, of course. So we have two versions of Poor Unfortunate Soul, depending on whether you have like a lot of space to work with, or like a character box of Ursula that you want to put this underneath. I know that there are Disney villain kits out there. There's at least a couple that I have hoarded in my collection, and then there's also an Ursula kit from Glam Planner that I have as well hoarded. So I figured I needed some like Ursula specific elements in case you were going to use this foil with one of those kits. And then over here we just have Under the Sea, which is I think the title of the Kittenish Dress clip art set that came out recently, I think. And then we have Someday I'll Be a Part of Your World, like from a song, and then from another song, the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. Actually, I think all four of these are like song quotes, which is hilarious, but like, I mean, unsurprisingly, there's not a ton of like really inspirational dialogue in the movie that's not part of a song, like not super motivational or meaningful stuff. So the song stuff is easily recognizable, so that's what I went with. So those are the quarter sheets. Let's get into the eighth sheets. As usual, we have the hole reinforcers, and then we have the headers, starting with the confetti headers. Got lots of teeny tiny stuff on there. I love the little bubble that I snuck in. And then we have one that's just fish. I loved arranging the fish for this one. There are a lot of elements in this collection that could just be used with any like under the sea type of kit, like any like the scuba diving art that came out. You could use this with that, or some Finding Nemo kits. You could like grab these headers to use with. So you could kind of get creative there. But yeah, here's a little fishy arrangement for that one, and then this one's just seashells, so you could also use this with like a beach kit. I do have a beach collection. I think I removed it because I'm going to reformat it like for later this year, like during the summer. But if you like need something right now or whatever, there's an option for that. So, or you can just mix and match and yeah, and get the all three option, get one of each. Or if you want to do just one design, you technically only need two of these sheets. There's 11 headers on each sheet. Now let's get into the sixth sheets. So starting off with the main deco sheet, we have some larger designs near the bottom. I did have to put these two on their sides just to make everything fit, but there's like a mermaid and then a seahorse down there, and then the other design of mermaid there, and then the turtle and the coral, and then there's some like medium-sized designs, as I label them, and then there's the small, which have added more, like we have the more shells and fish, and then there's the small confetti, and then there's the teeny tiny confetti, and then just the normal teeny tiny without the confetti, and then just some extra confettis where I had room. And then I did kind of squeeze everything together so I could fit a row of bubble clusters at the top, which I can just see myself putting everywhere. Those are going to be so fun. So there is that deco sheet, and then I did do a separate deco sheet just for the Little Mermaid. So, I mean, obviously I had to. So we have everything here is basically the same size, but the orientations are flipped, so everything is available facing left or right except for that. And these were kind of sized generally to go over full boxes, so if you want to put any of these designs in like the corner of a full box, then you have like a full box overlay basically. But I did want these like cut out as deco, so you would have that freedom to use them wherever you wanted. So we do have kind of like the inverse design of Ariel on the rock, whereas the like cutout design sort of is the one on the full box. This one is just the solid version. So I did kind of leave that a little bit bigger so you could use that like the same kind of way, or again more subtly like in the corner. And then we have King Triton, and then I did do a big old Ursula, so you know you could use her with your Ursula kits. Then we have Prince Eric and Ariel dancing. Then we have two versions of Ariel, and then we have the silhouettes of their heads, and then the separate silhouettes of their heads. Then we have Flounder, and then two versions of Sebastian, which are actually not mirrored because there wasn't really room, but that's okay because there's two versions that are like facing different directions anyway. And then yeah, this top row is all the ones that were mirrored. So really love this cute little mermaid deco sheet. And then next we have the corners, and just ignore these next two sheets because my silhouette got a little overexcited and cut all the way through. So these are definitely oops sheets, which is sad because like the foiling like was fine, but that's always how it works. If one machine doesn't mess it up, the other machine will definitely mess it up. Anyways, so for the corners, as usual, we have two rows of the medium-sized corners that are all cut out for you to use anywhere that you want. I like to use this sheet in particular with half boxes and third boxes. And then we have the small size confetti corners, and then the tiny ones that I made just specifically for this sheet. These are great for like half boxes because they're really subtle. And then the photo corners down here, which are also great for half boxes. These can also be used over full boxes, of course, if you want to do little photo corner overlays for full boxes. But we have the little fish design and the mermaid tail design in there. So that is corners, and then we have dividers. So I did grab some wave designs, which probably I'll reuse for the beach collection, but I just really wanted to have them for this collection because I knew that I didn't have any beach stuff up right now, and I thought it would be just really cute to just like throw these in somewhere and then like maybe do some little fish deco or mermaid deco like leaping out from the waves. I don't know, I thought that would be fun to mix and match. So we have a couple wave designs, and then we have a little row of tiny fish, and then one row of coral with the dainty confetti. And then we have the simple lined dividers with the icons. So we have the mermaid tail, fish, and shell. By the way, this shell, I didn't mention it before, but that shell is the same one that Ursula has on her necklace that she uses to keep Ariel's voice in, I believe. So I did like grab the same type of shell to use as deco. And then everything is like mirrored for the other side. This sheet is also available on premium matte paper. If you are using really busy underlays and you want to use dividers over the underlays, you'll want to grab the premium matte just so that it can show up because it'll have that white border. Okay, next we have the dangles and swoops. So we'll start with the dangles. As usual, we have the longer ones and then the medium along the top. We have our mermaid tail, coral, and fish used in there. And then we have teeny tiny swoops in there as well with the mermaid tail. And then the teeny tiny dangles, and then some garlands along the bottom with the coral. So that's the dangles sheet, and then we have the swoops, these are the big ones that go across the whole page. So we have that design, this one, which is really subtle, and then that one, and those are both mirrored. And then the rest of the space is filled up with mini swoops, which are available on their own sheet here. So we have these two distinct designs, these two designs, and these two as well, which are of course mirrored. So there's 6 designs on that sheet as well. So love those sheets in particular. And now let's get into the bottom washi, which has some really nice stuff as per always. So we'll start with the most basic one, which I just kept it simple with some mermaids and that special shell. So we have those alternated, and then I did do a couple of the shells as like a deco cluster kind of in that area. And then the next one is just basically fish. I just had a lot of fun with this sheet because I had a lot of fish to work with and they needed a spotlight. And also, I wanted you to be able to use this with other, like, underwater themed kits. So I basically just picked out ones that I thought would be really fun to have on washi. And obviously there's a crap ton of sharks because I'm obsessed with sharks. So I'm sorry if you don't like sharks, but there's 4 sharks on this sheet. I'm obsessed with them. So we have our great white here. We have our sea turtle, a couple of fishies, octopus. We got the long boys, swordfish. I feel like I should know what type of fish that is because it's such a distinctive shape, but I do not know. And then that fish, whatever that is. Hammerhead shark up here, pufferfish, starfish, dolphins, another type of random fish, and then a whale. And this is all not to scale, of course, but I didn't want to have all of it on there. And then the deco pieces are, of course, sharks because I love them. So we have our hammerhead, and then we have the great white, but it's like turning to like face you or something, which I just thought was really cool. So, yep. That one is the fish washi. And then so I did do, of course, a scene for the 32mm as usual, and I've been lately trying to do scenes for the 15mm, just kind of like squishing them in there, like slightly different ones, just so that you guys still have that scene option if you do want to go with the 15mm instead, or because most kits have them pre-cut nowadays so that you don't really have a choice. I didn't want you guys to be left out. So this scene is definitely kind of squished, and it's very busy and there's a lot in it, but I still love it. So here we have the scene 15mm for this set. It's basically just like an under the sea seaweed kind of situation. There's a couple of mermaids in there, a couple crabs as well. And I think I put the seahorse somewhere, but I don't see it right away. Maybe I didn't do it on this one. That's quite possible that I did it on the other one instead. But yes, so I love this scene. It's very, very detailed. And then for the deco, usually I'll do like some deco pieces, but if it's a scene, I'll usually just like cut off part of the scene to 1.5 inches wide and then just have that as like an extra full box overlay. So here's the piece that I cut out for that. So super fun. And then of course we have the confetti 15mm with the flags on that sheet as well. And then if you're using a glam planner kit, you'll want the 10 and 7mm. So for the 10, I just kind of did fish, shells, and bubbles, just a random kind of pattern. And then the 7 is the same confetti design as from the headers. And then the 32mm scene is this one, which is a bit different. It has like that manta ray, there's the seahorse right there, has like jellyfish and other like schools of fish. I think that's a lionfish in there, I'm pretty sure. And then I did add in some stuff right here. The main reason I added these little silhouettes in is because, like, if my laminator has to foil large swatches of area, it won't do it. And there will be black spots everywhere, so I wanted to reduce the amount of, like, solid area that it has to foil. But the design looks cool, so I'm fine with that. We have some shells here, starfish here, and then more shells over here. So yeah, ultimately I think this design looks super cool, and as usual there's a full box overlay over here. And I think I did a different mermaid, like a third design of mermaid for the 15mm scene. So there's two main ones that you'll see throughout the collection, but that one is kind of like a different design because like she fit better in that space with like both of her arms down, but just kind of a little fun Easter egg for you. Okay, so that is the main collection. Now let's get into the foil bundle. So this bundle, as usual, is available in the mini and ultimate formats. Mini does not include underlays. Ultimate, you can choose whichever underlays you want from the ones that are available in the collection. If you want to use different underlays from other collections or other shops, feel free to pick the mini format. And of course, these collections are also available, well, not the collection, but the bundles are available unfoiled, so you can foil it yourself or just use it black. And they're available as printables as well. And then there's an optional add-on sheet available for both the mini and the ultimate. So the first page is the full box overlays. We have 2 full confetti overlays, 2 medium 4-corner, 2 medium 2-corner, and then the classic confetti double box scene. And then the next 2 pages would be underlays, whatever you pick. This is just what the large looks like. Third page has the same new format as last week. I will be going with it until further notice. So the headers are the same. You do get 1 design of each header, adding up to 26. You get 2 of the quotes on the sheet included in the main bundle now. So I chose like 1 full cover and then 1 subtle one. So depending on what kit you are working with, you'll have both options. And then we have the full main deco sheet down there as well. And then the next page is the bottom washi. I just went with the most basic bottom washi and then the confetti as usual. And then the add-on has 2 of the full box overlays, 2 medium 3-corner overlays, the full corners sheet, a full set of hole reinforcers, and then usually the space I'll just fill in with whatever. So this week it was some Little Mermaid deco. So that is the bundle, and next I'll quickly go over the mock spread. I don't remember what this kit is called, but it is from Planning Inspired. It is actually a printable that I printed off years and years ago. It was one of the first ones I ever purchased. I forget if I said the name of the shop. The shop is Planning Inspired, but yeah, this was on like my old paper too, my old glossy that I think I got like with my silhouette possibly. So is way different from what I currently use, and it breaks a lot more easily, but the point is that I got it down. And also ignore the crazy glitter headers. I didn't have any for the collection, so I had to use my leftovers stash, which was like extremely random, so would only use that in a mock spread basically, but it is mermaid themed, so that kind of works out nicely. And like a lot of the designs are like the same as what I used, so it's kind of fun, except like the treasure chest, that's new. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay down everything as usual and then come back and show you how it looks and show you where everything is. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, so let's go over where everything is on the mock spread. As usual, I left one of each of the underlays uncovered and then the rest are covered, so you can see both versions. There's the large fish, scales and medium. There's the scales covered, large covered, medium covered, and fish covered. And we have our gorgeous bottom washi, the 32mm scene, which I love so much. And then I did use the extra deco piece on this one along with a swoop. We have swoops all over the place, several different versions. There's one right there, up there. They are just everywhere. So versatile. We have our dividers. There's wave 1 and then wave 2 is right here. I just love how dainty those are. And we have this line divider, the coral divider, that line divider, the fish divider, and I think that's all of them. We have a mini swoop, we have a photo corner, and then there are regular corners throughout. There's this one. Oh, and there's some of the Little Mermaid deco. Another regular confetti corner, and then the other photo corner. You can see all the deco bits, various sizes, confetti or no confetti. There's some along the top. There's one of the garlands from the Dangles sheet on there. And we have an Ursula right there. I did put a lot of the extra Little Mermaid deco in the top. So there's Ariel 1. And there's Sebastian. And Ariel 2. I love Ariel 2 perching on the date cover. And then, of course, the couple. And then there's the Ariel full box overlay. We have one of the borders. The Mermaid's Welcome quote. The full cover quote. And then I layered a medium 3-corner plus a photo corner over that to kind of fill it out. And then we have the scales border, which I really love that one, the mermaid border, and then the full cover quote. And we also have the headers. We have the confetti, fish, and shell headers. And I believe that's basically everything. So yeah, I try to be a little bit more subtle with the mock spread this time. I didn't need too much. But yeah, it just really shows off how fun it can be to use all parts of the collection. Oh, and I also forgot that there's little dangles up there as well in the corners. So yep, this collection is available in shop now. Next week will be the books collection. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would be wonderful. And I will see you in my next one. Ciao, ciao.